on more needle fiber hits. These are all needle fiber hits so far. Tiger's banned. Yep. All right. Well, rest in peace. We knew this was gonna happen. At least I knew it was gonna happen. So that completely invalidates my whole video, and there is no longer any point in making it. Rest in peace. Feels bad, man. Well, we had a good run, and the deck is actually dead. At least the way that we have known it. It was nice while we had it. It was nice while it lasted, but deck is dead. Deck is pretty much unplayable. It was workable with one tiger. With zero tiger, it's dead. So now we're going to have to work on different decks. Hey, what's up guys, Sir Emanon here, going to be bringing you guys a bit of a different style of video today. So this is just going to be a chill one-on-one discussion about the latest TCG ban list where Lunalight Tiger did get banned, and what that means for me as a player as well as the channel overall. There is a lot for me to talk about, and I have many changes planned which I'm super excited to talk about, so let's go ahead and dive on in. So first up, Lunalight Tiger's ban definitely does mean, unfortunately, that from a competitive standpoint, the deck is essentially dead, right? Like, Tiger gave the deck so much. It gave it consistency, it gave it board building, recovery, a grind game, and there really is just no replacement, at all, either from inside the archetype or from outside to fill, just the very, very many different niches and purposes that the card provided. So as a result, I will be retiring the deck from higher tier competitive events. As sad as that is, I won't be bringing it to regionals or YCSs any longer. But this doesn't mean that I won't maybe perhaps revisit it in the future and mess around with like a more casual build for locals and such. And you certainly can still play the deck that way if you want to. But I'd always play the deck as a combo build and try to make it competitive for a very, very long time, like even before Collider Chick came to the TCG. And that was possible for a while, but with Tiger being gone now, that's no longer the case. And I never really played the deck pure, like even in 2017, I always played it as a combo build. So as a competitive player, I will be moving on to other decks. However, I would like to give a final send-off for the deck, just because I'm very, very grateful for it and all that it's given to me. It gave me a strong foundation for this channel, it gave me my first YCS top, which I'm really happy about, and it gave me a deck that I really, truly loved and just never got bored of playing, which is going to be hard to replicate with another deck. But as a proper send-off, on screen for you guys right now is the deck list that I probably would have taken to YCS Charlotte, and a deck that I would have definitely featured in the big Lunalight primer that I had to unfortunately cancel. I really won't talk about it much at all because it's going to be relevant in about like 5 days, but I just figured that I would show you all anyway, and also show some Dueling Book and Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro replays to sort of just accompany my thoughts so you can look at something besides just a blank screen. So let's go ahead and talk about the meat and the discussion of this video, which is going to be what's to come of this channel. So it's pretty interesting because whenever I view my channel, I always think of it as just a Yu-Gi-Oh channel, right? Like, that's how I always intended it for it to be, and I never really envisioned being viewed as a one-trick by the community. It just sort of panned out that way, that I've kind of become known as like a Lunalight player, or a Lunalight one-trick, just because of how things went. Like I said, I picked up the deck, in 2017, a long, long time ago, before even like majority of the cards like that we know nowadays came to the TCG. And really, like, I played it for a long time and I tried to make it work. And the real chance for me to make it competitive was in January 2019 when we got the support. And really, that's kind of just how things sort of transitioned to my YouTube channel from there. I really just took a deck that I loved playing and I made it as competitive as I could. I applied all the competitive principles that I could to it, and here we are now. So I really felt like I grew as a competitive player with the deck. It taught me a lot about the game, about various different things, because I actually used to be more of a control player back in the day, but now I've definitely moved on and played like all sorts of decks from combo to mid-range to control. So it's given me a lot. And I really am grateful for it. So as a player, I definitely am very sad that I won't be able to play the deck at full power in Master Rule 5, because obviously those combos are absolutely insane. However, this ban list is a bit of a blessing in disguise for me, because as a content creator, I'm very happy that I don't have to feel like I'm forcing myself to make content that is, I guess, restrictive for long-term growth, if that makes sense. Like, I've always had the liberty and capability of making things on whatever I wanted to, but, with just how strong the deck has been, I've always just felt sort of contractually obligated to sort of innovate the deck because, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I really do feel like I've taken the deck pretty far, just as far as my own personal theory and the things that I've contributed to the deck. I really do believe that with, as much competitive knowledge as I could bestow to the deck. I really think that I sort of modernized it and made it able to compete with the metagame, at least from my own perspective. So although I won't take like full credit or anything like that, like obviously I didn't win a YCS with it, unlike certain other players. I really do think that I contributed quite a great deal to how the deck is viewed, nowadays. So I really do think that that's kind of why I felt, obligated to make a lot of Lunalight content, because, innovation was something that was really, really, powerful as far as, just offering something to the community. And I think that that's something that I felt, again, just obligated to do. But with Lunalight Tiger being banned, with this ironically kind of being forced onto me, it actually gives me more freedom to do and make videos on things that I wanted to do. So currently, as a result, I am deciding on multiple different decks, and by that I mean there's a lot, like maybe 10 or so on my radar, and I'll put them on screen for you guys, just some ideas that I have. Some of them I have been eyeing more closely than others, but there's still a lot of different decks that I've wanted to devote more time to for the longest period of time and just really get to be familiar with them. But just with how much time I invested in Lunalight, that really wasn't possible before, which again, I don't regret that at all. But now that the window is open for me to actually experiment and explore other decks, I'm much more than happy to do so. And whichever one deck or multiple decks, if I do enjoy more than one, like whichever one that I gravitate towards, those will be the decks that I definitely will end up making content on. So you can definitely expect me to just kind of toy around with and experiment with various different videos, as well as just different deck ideas and all of that good stuff. I really think that this really should just be a passion project for me as far as this YouTube channel is concerned. I just want to make content on things that I genuinely enjoy and find interesting and enjoyable. And I really think that, even though I loved Lunalight, I loved making content on it, and I loved the deck, I think that I kind of, towards the end of it, lost sight on why I started making videos to begin with. I started taking, YouTubing a bit more seriously in like August of last year. And this is when I had maybe like 300 or so subscribers. I didn't really know what I was doing at the time. And that's not to say that, oh, I'm this big YouTuber now. Like, by no means is that true. But I have a better idea of how, I kind of want to direct my channel now and things that I want to actually do. And I decided that I actually still want to sort of maintain that childlike joy that I had when like initially creating more regular content, which is just making videos that I really, really just love making. And again, I didn't ever hate making Lunalight content. It's just that I felt like I was kind of locking myself in and sort of stunting my own growth by, subjecting myself to only making content on like one specific deck. And again, nobody was ever forcing me to do so, but I was just kind of like forcing myself because of how strong the deck was projected to be, and just me being like one of the innovators for the deck. Again, just not trying to brag too much here, but I definitely feel like I did contribute a fair amount to the deck, I would like to think. But yeah, I think that now that that chapter is kind of closed, we are able to sort of just make videos that I think that I will enjoy just a ton, and it's going to provide kind of a breath of fresh air, because I'll be making all sorts of different content, and it'll vary it up quite significantly, meaning that I'll never really get bored of making any one particular style of video, which is something to be pretty excited about. So next up is kind of the big thing that I have for this video, and that is, the various ideas on different video series and things of that nature. So I'm going to have a lot of polls on the community tab on the channel after asking for your guys' opinions and input. So definitely check those out. You guys know that I love the community tab. I make use out of it a lot. It's just a way for me to see what you guys think and not have to read through like hundreds and hundreds of comments, because, you guys can just vote for things, and I can kind of get an idea of where you guys' heads at. And I can kind of combine that with the content that I want to produce, so we can have the best of both worlds, which would be ideal. So I'll go over the main 5 ideas in this video, and I'll make, again, some polls on the community tab. So make sure that you, go ahead and comment on those and vote at your leisure if you have time. So feel free to leave comments on this video as well if you want to, but I'm just going to, convey my thoughts and see what you guys think. So first up, we have Road to 1000 dueling book rating. I did kind of a bad job towards the end of this format of not uploading these series as regularly as I had it to. So as a result, I fell behind schedule really, really fast. I thought that, it's funny because I thought that, initially when I started off this series back in September, or somewhere around there, I kind of envisioned it as maybe like a weekly series I would just do on the side in tandem with whatever other content that I wanted to make. But it turns out that it actually has since become a mainstay staple. And you guys seem to really enjoy that series, and I do as well. I love that series a lot. I love making those videos. I love editing those videos. But mostly, I really just like talking in those videos because it allows me to kind of just have this razor thin focus and like really detailed analysis that I think that I can provide that not many other people have been able to provide. Like not a lot of people talk about like the very specific interactions of different decks, different formats, things of that nature. And I think that from a gameplay perspective, that's something that the series offers, and I feel like that is something that I really excel in. So I definitely do love that series, and I plan on being a lot more diligent with it. It's going to require me being a lot more regular this upcoming format, so I will definitely be a lot more on the ball. So that series isn't really going to be changing apart from the regularity and frequency of my uploading. So I will just post a couple more games from this current format the next couple of days, just the ones that I find more interesting and the ones that are more integral to the actual road itself. Obviously, I am definitely behind schedule, so I'll only be able to post a couple more games, within a short time frame. But as soon as April rolls around, I'll be moving on to the new format and things like that. So you can hold me to it. I promise that I will actually, finish the series on time and do things the way that I have to. So if I'm not, you can feel free to definitely, push me a little bit on that. I won't mind too much because that is something that I definitely need to hold myself a bit more accountable for. So next up is a series that I actually dropped a long time ago, and unless if you were here since like the very beginning, you probably have no idea what this even is. But that is the CCC series, which stands for Cheap Competitive Contenders. So this series was essentially just me taking a budget build of my own creation, mostly of meta decks, where I would replace a lot of the expensive staples and things of that nature, or even just like budget options that didn't require like replacements, but you could just build like traditionally very cheaply. A very classic example of this was like True Draco. So those kinds of decks I would build and have a price breakdown for you guys on the screen, as well as like in a Google spreadsheet for in the description box in all the videos. I only made like 2 episodes, but that was like the basic premise. And then I would actually play those games on like a Dueling Book, like an alternate Dueling Book account, like not my main account, but on a side account in Rated, just so it wouldn't interfere with Road to 1000. But the idea was like I would actually be able to test those decks against, like full power, not full power, but like unrestricted, unrestrained budget, like competitive decks. So in an ideal setting, I would be able to actually take those decks to locals or regionals and pit it against people who are not playing on a budget or not playing with restrictions, for the most part. But because I don't really have the cards available to do that, the next best alternative is to play online. So if this is an interesting series to you guys, let me know if I should bring it back, because it's something that I've wanted to do for a while, because I know many people do want to play this game on a competitive level, but have sort of a bit of a restrained budget, or maybe they don't even have that tight of a budget, but just can't really afford like the big expensive cards like Lightning Storm and like Pot of Extravagance and things of that nature. I'm like kind of in that category myself even. So like I feel like that's a good series to kind of just showcase that you can definitely build on a budget, and if you are savvy and if you're smart about deck building as well as just knowing your deck inside and out, you can definitely take games from even like the full power, like $500 decks out there. So if that's something that you guys want me to bring back, definitely let me know, and I will be more than happy to do so, because this is something that I definitely don't want to give up on. But if there's not a lot of interest, then I don't want to waste your guys' time on it. And kind of branching off that is the third point. So that is the featuring of rogue decks. So a lot of you guys have expressed interest to me in various different decks that are maybe not played as much, especially at like a YCS level, but maybe these decks can have the capability of getting your invite at a regional or something of that nature. So I really think that, as a competitive player, it's kind of like a bit of a conflict for me, because I do actually like rogue decks personally, but I also kind of want to maintain the competitive focus of this channel. So I think that in order to also avoid kind of overloading my upload schedule, I think a good compromise would be if like I consolidated CCC, the Cheap Competitive Contender series I was just talking about, as well as like featuring rogue decks. So what I could do is maybe like alternate episodes, have like one episode be sort of a budget version of a current meta contender, like a tier 1 or a tier 2 deck, and then like the following episode I could just talk about and feature a rogue deck that is less popular, but could, again, like be a invite winning build at a regional and stuff. So if you guys would like a combination of that, like a combination of CCC as well as like the rogue decks, definitely feel free to let me know if that's like a good compromise, and I will do my best to make that work. I think that would be a very good way for me to like reintroduce a series that I really wanted to sort of commit to but just haven't, while simultaneously fulfilling a demand or a request from some of you guys. And I think that would work very, very well. So the fourth thing is feature matches from my online tournaments. So this is a great time for me to plug my own Discord. If you guys are not aware, I do have my own Discord server that I have in the description box of every single video. It's basically just a big social community hub for you guys to all chat and talk with one another and talk about deck building, different things of that nature. And there's like a lot of different things in there. I love it as a social media platform. And if you guys ever wanted to like talk to me one-on-one, that's probably the single best direct method of doing so. So feel free to definitely check it out. And on that Discord server, I actually regularly host online TCG tournaments, where I basically just have like a dueling book platform for people to be able to like test various TCG builds. This started even before this whole worldwide situation started occurring. So the idea behind it isn't specifically because of that, but it is just a way for people to get more opportunities to test the TCG format. So if this is interesting to you, definitely check out the Discord. However, with that being said, I definitely have started showing feature matches from like the first tournament that I held back in February. And while those videos are doing okay, I've noticed that there's a lot less interest in them, both in terms of view count as well as view duration. So I'm getting the impression that maybe you guys aren't as interested in that content. So let me know if you guys just really would rather not see those and would rather me host just other content on my channel with like me actually playing or like other things of that nature. Because again, I don't want to flood my upload schedule with too many different things. I don't want to spread myself too thin. So if that's something that's not of interest to you guys at all, just let me know, and I'd be more than okay with dropping that series or other series if you guys are just not interested. I want to do I want to make videos on things that you guys want to see, and also I want to make videos on things that I want to produce. And so far, every idea that I've presented so far is something that I do want to produce. So I have no problem with dropping one of the series if that means that you guys aren't really going to be, or if you guys wouldn't have watched them anyway, because I will be enjoying the things that I am making regardless. So it works out, it's a win-win situation. All right, so the final thing is just miscellaneous content. So if there's anything that you guys think that I'd be good at showcasing just with my own unique skill set in ways that maybe other Yu-Gi YouTubers aren't currently doing, I'd love to hear like original thoughts or original ideas. Keeping in mind, of course, my own personality and just the way that I present myself. I'm not going to be doing like comedy sketches anytime soon, but if you guys think that there's like something that you think is missing from Yu-Gi YouTubing as a whole, that's kind of like what my thought process behind both Road to 1000 Dueling Book Grading and CCC were, is that I felt like both of those were sort of missing, especially in terms of CCC, like actually playing the budget decks, because I feel like people profile budget decks all the time but don't actually play them. But getting sidetracked here, if there is something that you guys think that is missing that I feel that I could specifically fill a niche for, let me know in the comment section, and as well as the poll, and I would love to take those into consideration. And again, all these ideas will be on the community tab, so feel free to check those out and leave detailed comments over there as well. It'll also help to keep things organized, so I would prefer like the very, very detailed stuff go over there if possible. But yeah, thank you guys so much for sticking around with me. That's going to actually do it for this video. I'm really, really grateful. I truly am grateful for each and every single one of you for, being with me this far. I've gotten so many positive comments on my banlist reaction videos from you guys saying that you guys are here more so for my content and what I have to bring to the table, regardless of my deck choice, which makes me feel a lot more confident. And it keeps me going. It's very motivating to hear that from you guys. So I'm very, very happy about that. And it means a lot to me, like on a personal level. And I won't get into that right now, but maybe if I reach like, a higher subscribers count, we'll maybe talk about like more of the personal stuff. But anyways, I really can't wait to see what the future holds. There's a lot of things that I have planned and a lot of things in store. So I hope you guys stick around and, just hold on to the ride. So anyways, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like as well as any thoughts or feedback in the comment section down below. Feel free to subscribe for more informative and competitive Yu-Gi-Oh content. If you want to, you can follow me on Discord, Twitter, or Twitch. All 3 links in the description as always. And once again, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I will catch you in the next video. See you guys.